back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Come on, Ian, as the big man Ian Wright just said there, people, deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, and in some cases, good night. Big up the YouTube gang. Do me a favor and smash the like button, get the creative juices flowing as well, and comment your opinions across anything discussed, people, and turn on your notification bells. Now, big up you lot. At the time of making this video, it's stupid o'clock, but I love you lot, and we're trying to get to 60,000 subscribers, so make sure you're supporting the team. Now, let's get straight into it. Let me share my screen with you lot. As you know, Newcastle face FFP pressures and issues. There are some rumours that they say that will become obsolete come the end of the season. So how far these rumours go, I don't know. But as clockwork, like clockwork, better yet, Bruno Guimarães and Alexander Isak have been linked with several clubs. Isak's been linked with Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, leaving Newcastle for Spurs makes sense. But Bruno Guimarães, a player who I believe him and Paqueta should be Arsenal footballers. Edu, bit of bad blood there, but he made up for it with Declan Rice. Apparently, Newcastle face uphill battle to keep hold of superstar Bruno Guimarães as Arsenal, Man United and PSG circle amid FFP woes. Apparently, he has a release clause of 100-odd million quid, and I reckon he goes to Paris Saint-Germain, but he'd be lovely here. Apparently, people, Eddie Howe knows he'll need to offload players to satisfy FFP rules, and his Brazilian midfielder is not only a target for a string of clubs, but also he has the ambition to play in the Champions League, which until after the group stages or following the conclusion of the group stages, Newcastle failed to get out of such. PSG are apparently on red hot alert, and he has 100 million price tag. He's a quality player. Can't see Arsenal spending that, but in theory, would love him at the football club. A source said Newcastle face an uphill battle to retain Bruno over the summer. He's one of the best midfielders in the world and has been on the radar for PSG for more than a year. They will have funds in the summer and wouldn't blink at meeting the release clause. Eddie Howe wouldn't want to lose the player, but the matter may end up being taken totally out of his hands due to FFP. Reports claim that Arsenal and Manchester United are also interested in Guimarães, but PSG are believed to be at the front of the queue. They've been tracking Bruno for a long time, and it's no secret that he's on the top of their list. They face losing Mbappe in the summer, so the heat will be on the owners to bring in big names to appease fans. Bruno always has fun links to France, so PSG are confident they can get the player out of the club and over to Paris. And you'd imagine they'd make a sizable profit on the £35 million they initially spent on him. He's under contract until 2028 and earns 160 grand per week, which it would handsomely double if he goes to Paris Saint-Germain. Apparently, Eddie Howe said, in an ideal world, given the freedom to act, we would have brought players in already, but we're not in that situation. FFP is a problem, and we're having to navigate around that. We're not shutting the door on anything, but as I sit here now, we're not going to bring anyone in. I think that was from January, so I won't harp on with that. Once again, they face issues due to that very reason. Arsenal could be set to rival both Liverpool and Manchester City in the battle to sign Bayern Munich midfielder Joshua Kimmich, who the 29-year-old, as we know, only has a year left on his deal, and it'll be interesting to see him over 180 minutes of normal time, potentially extra time in the second leg, as Arsenal next week kick off against Bayern Munich. Can play as a right back, can play in midfield, wealth of experience, could see why I'd be interested. Allegedly, according to Ikram Connor, who is a journalist, Arsenal are planning to offer the 29-year-old a 3-year contract at the end of the season. David Ornstein has been speaking about Isak. I would be shocked if Isak was sold. For all the recent reports on Isak, I don't personally know of clubs who are actively looking to move for him. In brackets, granted, he has plenty of admirers, but the fee would be huge. His injury record may be a concern. Quality player, but injuries would be a concern. Football Insider have said Spurs have joined Arsenal in the race to sign Isak should Newcastle be forced to sell key players this summer, people. Keeping up the theme with strikers, Bologna striker Joshua Zirkzee wants to move to AC Milan despite an offer from Arsenal and from Man United, and interest from Arsenal and Juventus in the 22-year-old. AC Milan's a massive club to play for. Leicester City allegedly have joined the race to sign Eddie Nketiah, but face competition from both Crystal Palace and Brentford. You throw Wolves into the mix, there'll be quite the race to see who signs Eddie Nketiah. Unfortunately, we need a striker. Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, potentially Martinelli, and a new striker would all be ahead of him. I think Eddie Nketiah can leave with his head held high. Released from Chelsea, progressed all the way at his boyhood club Arsenal, worn the number 14, scored a hat-trick, won the FA Cup, shown he can take Gabriel Jesus' spot in a title charge at times. I really have a lot of time for him, and he can leave with his head held high. I do believe if he goes elsewhere with sustained football, he could surprise a few in years to come. Keeping up the theme with strikers, as I said, Viktor Gyokeres is high on Arsenal's list of striker options, but Sporting expect the player's release clause of 100 million euros to be triggered for him to leave. Done well at Coventry, done well at Sporting. Can't imagine Arsenal are going to want to spend that money on his release clause based on it being a red hot purple patch per se of sorts. But I like the player. I've done plenty of vid on him, people. So go and check that out. Arsenal are interested in signing Rodrigo in the summer transfer window. The Brazilian's future at Real Madrid is more uncertain with the arrival of Mbappe. Injuries can happen. There's a lot of football. And to be fair to you, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo in the 10 amongst other roles, Kylian Mbappe up front or Vinicius up front to go with all the wealth that Real Madrid have in options. They'd be silly to let him go. I think he's got Ballon d'Or potential personally. Benjamin White's actually been nominated for Player of the Month for March in 2024. So go and support the guy. He deserves exactly that. Fabrizio Romano and Martin Zubimendi of Sociedad has said he remains on Arsenal's list and he was on top of Bayern's list in case Xabi Alonso became their new coach. Bayern still appreciate Zubimendi as one of the targets, but final decision will be up to the manager. It's all quiet on Barcelona's case. So do Arsenal have a free run at it? Keeping up the theme with Gyokeres, allegedly Arsenal scouts were present on Tuesday to watch him play against Benfica, where he actually bagged as well. Not as exciting as it should sound. If we really are looking for a striker, we should be scouting people. And, you know, we were linked with Sporting's defender Diamande. I'm sure we've scouted him heavily across the season, so we must have seen Gyokeres and he gained our attention for what it's worth. Apparently, Gyokeres has 36 goals in all comps and 14 assists, so he's been quite the signing. AC Milan and Chelsea are also in the race to land the Swedish international. I've mentioned Leicester have joined Crystal Palace and Brentford in the case to sign Eddie Nketiah, people. Apparently, his wages won't be a problem if they move on Vardy because he's got 100k a week release clause wages. Garnacho was just bagged for Man United against Chelsea, by the way, which is lovely seeing Chelsea lose. But back on this, you know, we all know the Smith Rowes, the Nelsons, the Eddie Nketiahs, their futures are going to be subject to speculation, folks. We've also been linked with Isaac and also Benjamin Sesko as the search for a striker at this football club continues. White has been Benjamin White. So good he don't need to watch football. Apparently he is in contention to win Premier League Player of the Month, so make sure we go and support him, people. Ramsdale, not for his nonsense against Brentford, but apparently he's up for Save of the Month against Brentford, people. So let's go and support my man's movement. I'm sure that was in relation to Ivan Toney. Be nice for Ramsdale to get that in what could be his last spell at the club. Arteta has been nominated Player of the Month. On the topic of Arteta, it's only right we see what he's had to say in the aftermath of the Luton game. On the performance of Smith Rowe and Nelson, I think Nelson was a bit too safe. I think Smith Rowe was one of the brightest spots. I look at my players in my squad in a different way. It's a joy to have them fit. If we want to utilize the squad and maximize what they have to play. I think it was the right moment to do that, and they responded really well. I'm so happy with that because I think we won again, especially with a few players with good confidence. Physically, with the rhythm right now, they're going to be important for us. On making 5 changes, for sure, in brackets, I wanted to give them the rhythm. When they have the moment, they have to take it, and they certainly did today. They gave me a reason every day, regardless of the results, because it's not the right decision and it's not down to the results. If we would have lost the game, it would have been down to making changes. It's not as simple as that. At the end, you have to do what is right and what they deserve. And I was full of confidence that they would respond. Winning or not winning is another story in football. We all know Sheffield United are playing Liverpool, and Liverpool are winning at this moment in time. Manchester City beat Aston Villa, so that's another story. I don't look at the league table, so I'm not going to get into that. On whether the squad is stronger this season, I still think it's weak in terms of depth, but with what Kai Havertz is doing at the moment, with what Timber could have brought, with the emergence of Kyrgios in his first full season now, and obviously Declan Rice and all the players getting bigger and better, it would be more mentally more than a personnel thing or on top of a personnel thing. It's certainly different to what we had last season and the big injuries that we've had in key moments of the season. Touch wood, why? That we can maintain them and they can be there, but as well, we use them and they have the right mental and physical frame that they have to perform and have the impact in the team. Mental and physical frame. So we've got mentally strong players and we've got taller and stronger players. Odegaard has shown he's a leader. He's a really important player. We needed that balance as well. The chemistry that certain players have is because how they train as well and how we build those connections and relationships. Martin is there to connect everything well in how we play. He then said he made huge steps. His presence, the way he's behaving himself in front of the group and the standard that he sets is outstanding. He's got a lot of players as well to support him and the rest to follow with him. On Smith Rowe, he said, I think a lot. I love him as a player, so do I. It's a joy to watch him, how he moves moves, how he changes direction, how physical he is today as well. Without the ball, he won a lot of duels, and he was thinking with that killer instinct to play forward and to make things happen. When Emil is in that moment, it's very difficult to stop him. Today, he helped us a lot to win the game. Can't disagree with that. As you know, Kai Havertz is treading lightly with getting a suspension. He got his 9th booking of the season. Yeah, we have to be careful. Hopefully he doesn't get booked anymore, because with the 10th, we know what happens. Devil's advocate, is it best to get that against Brighton, so then you miss Villa and you miss the next game, and then whatever? I think Kai Havertz, naturally, because of the way he plays, will pick up that yellow card. And, you know, if we're winning 2-1 away from home and there's a 90th minute counter attack, and, you know, we might lose, we might drop 2 points, and there's an opportunity for Kai Havertz to take a yellow or make a tactical foul, he's going to have to do that. He said, yes, we have to be careful. Hopefully he doesn't get any more, because with the 10th, we know what happens. I'm surprised. That's a different player. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at those cards, but it's something to improve. We don't want our players to have that many, and I think we are the best in the league on that, something to improve. I remember under Arteta, Granit Xhaka actually improved in terms of yellow cards, so that could be something to consider. Oh, Caicedo's been subbed. £105 million Declares would never go out like that. On Tomiyasu, is Tommy happy? Then I'm happy. I'm really happy. I really like him. He fully deserves that. I think he's growing with the team, and we need the consistency from him when he's fit and available, because today when he came on, he was really good and he gave us a lot. On Bukayo Saka, he was close to being involved, but he felt something similar again to City, and it was a very short turnaround. Hopefully he'll be able to train tomorrow, and he'll be available on the weekend. Finally, our manager said, I can't really remember how I was feeling last year. I was very excited. We kept growing. We tried our best. And in the end, we didn't do enough to win it. Sometimes you just have to recognize the consistency and quality of other teams like we did, and try again and go again. And here we are. So big up the manager on that. We've gone over Joshua Kimmich, but apparently he's top on Arsenal's shortlist. I don't know if I believe that, but he's contracted until 2025. Sky Germany have said we're well aware of his situation, and Bayern Munich's priority is to keep hold of the player. Even goes as far as to say Kai Havertz has spoken with him in private about moving to London. Once again, we've gone over Eddie Nketiah. Every day there's a new club interested in acquiring his services. I'm not convinced on Jeremy Frimpong defensively, but I think going forward he could be a great player for Mikel Arteta to work with, and he has quite the celebrations. Arsenal and Liverpool and Man United have all been linked. Apparently Arsenal are eyeing a £35 million move for him. We've heard this before. Apparently he has a release clause in the summer that becomes active to that, people. Pete O'Rourke of Football Insider has said we're eyeing up such, and apparently he's seen as a bargain. I'm sure if Mikel Arteta and the coaching staff haven't done the scouting, then they could ask Granit Xhaka on his opinion of his new teammate. Thomas Partey's opened up on his future and said, my head is always here, so where's your heart? This is where I choose to play. I'm really happy. Every time I'm on the field, I know a lot of speculation has been going on, but for me, I'm really happy to be here and to continue playing for this football club. With my contract, I still have to the end of the season. I think I have to do my best and try to perform at the highest level, and I think the most important is to be available every time. Fair enough. It's good to be back. I feel really good. It's been a while. I've been trying to work a lot on my fitness. I've been through a lot of work. I've done all I can, and I'm really happy to be back. I feel really happy. I think I've improved a lot on my fitness. I try my best to keep on going at this level and to give my best. And with Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Aston Villa, North London derbies, and a bunch of football to be played with nothing decided, we need every player available for Mikel Arteta to pick from. Zinchenko has issued fighting talk. He said, yes, I won't lie to you. When asked whether Arsenal's results against direct rivals gave them greater confidence, he said, because it shows that we're ready to fight for the title and we're ready to compete with the best teams in the world. Was it a psychologically important result at City on Sunday? Yes, definitely. It's not easy to play against City away and also Liverpool away. It shows that Arsenal are ready to fight for it. Fair enough. He then said, all of us need to fight and work hard to deserve this opportunity to play every single game. Fair enough, people. And obviously, I've been over Rob Edwards' comments on previous streams, so I won't bore you lot with that. But yeah, I won't bore you lot with this. But once again, you know, Arsenal have been linked with the same old players. Allegedly, you know, we're in the fight for Joshua Kimmich and Onana. We have been linked with Thuram, but this is mainly on the basis of Barcelona eyeing these players, folks. So who knows? We've been linked with João Cancelo, according to reports from Spain. He's someone that's been linked with us currently at Barcelona. I reckon he stays there, but who knows? And finally, Arsenal and Manchester City have reportedly taken the front seat in the race for Georgian teenager Valtag Salia. Never seen him before. 16 years of age, also been linked with Liverpool. I want the best players from all over. So if there's a capacity to bring him to the club and he is a prodigy and he's decent, fair enough. I've never seen him play, but when I think of Georgia, I think of that lad at Napoli, you know, I can't say his name. I mean, no disrespect, but you don't know who I'm talking about. So if there's ballers there, find them all over the world, wherever we have to go, people. So it is what it is in that regards. But with that being said, that brings a conclusion to this video. Let me know your thoughts on Isaac, GUIMARAES, Gyokeres, who else? Potentially Thomas Partey staying at the club, Eddie Nketiah moving on, Smith Rowe's performances, and Mikel Arteta's comments. Don't forget to check out the rest of the other videos because I'm always spamming you lot. Make sure you're turning on the notifications, you're liking, you're commenting, and subscribing. We're on the journey to 60,000. We're trying to get to 70,000 before the end of the year. Appreciative for you lot support and your continued support. If you're new here, subscribe. If you've been part of the furniture, God bless you all. In fact, God bless you all. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
Always like,